Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm absolutely wrecked after this power outage last night that took place at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm someone who needs 8 hours of sleep, and I got up at 1:30 with this issue. Our UPS was beeping, had no battery. Our Powerwalls had plenty of battery, but just failed for 10 minutes. I woke up and struggled to get back to sleep till 4:30, and then I woke up at 9. Pretty much my mind is just racing about this Tesla issue. I am suffering a bit of anxiety about it, just wanting to be done with it, sick of it. It's an ongoing story that just is never ending. So yes, last night we had an outage that went for 10 minutes. We've had hundreds and hundreds of outages over the last 18 months. Tesla has been actively working on the case, producing new firmware time and time again, deploying the firmware, me having to take a full day off of work, firmware updates taking over 8 hours, system power, pull motors breaking, air conditioning fans breaking. My motorized gate no longer works. Now we have over 15 PCs across our residential and business premise, and many of those also had Windows installations become corrupted, and me have to spend hours doing resets or restores or Windows 11 reinstallation. So how do I know my devices have been broken due to the Powerwalls? So how do I know the Powerwalls caused issues with all of these devices? Now this is because typically it's either that our Powerwall had become so unstable and it had turned off and on 20 times within an hour, and then devices that were working before that cycle are now no longer working afterwards due to all the AC pulsing in and out of said devices uncontrollably. So our motor for our gate broke just 2 days ago when Tesla updated us to the most recent firmware, which was supposed to address our issues. During that firmware upgrade, it was per second hour. It ended up having so many issues, it took 8 hours. And in that process, at the start of the day, our motor was working. At the end of the day, after the 100 or so crashes that took place during the update process, power on, power off, power on, power off, lights flickering, our gate motor stopped dying, and I was able to probe it with the multimeter, and I could see 240 volts going in through the AC terminals into the motor, and unfortunately the DC terminals are no longer working. So somewhere along the line, transformer, fuse, I'm not sure what, I tried to replace fuses, it's just not working at this present time, and now if I can't fix it myself, I have to pay people to fix it for me. So why did we get a Tesla Powerwall system? One issue was this property has a 63 amp feed over there, 240 volts, which equates to about 14 kilowatts of power draw in Australia. If we want to go any higher, we have to trench out this whole garden in this place that we bought, which is a possibility, but we're talking $20,000 of cost. So it was essentially two different projects that we could work on. Do we want to upgrade our grid feed, or do we disconnect it entirely and change the 63 amp feed here, disable? Now, when we bought this property 2 years ago, we were finding that we were commonly tripping this, our 63 amp circuit, and that's due to things like these heaters up here in the outdoor units are collectively 30 amps. Just those two heaters, when flicked on, consume 50% of our maximum power output. So coming from the house out to our business premise, we actually have quite a lot of computer servers. I'm running out of time in this video, but essentially another whole premise to be powered up. Going to the 10 Powerwall setup gave us a central distribution board with 200 amp supply because 10 Powerwalls is 20 amps each.